Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and for the final time of 2025, welcome to the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, indeed, this is the final live stream, unless between now and when the ball drops tomorrow night, if there is some sort of massive breaking news that we go live for in an instant. This is the last live stream of the year 2025. Getting that announcement out of the way a little bit early. Tomorrow, at least for New Year's Eve, no scheduled live stream here on the channel, though there probably will be an SCSR 60 to go with tomorrow's news, just like what will come up after tonight's live stream. But nonetheless, glad to have all of you here on this Tuesday. Going to be honest, probably going to be a bit of a shorter live stream tonight. We'll get into the big news of the day in the Pittsburgh sports world, that being Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin holding his annual weekly Tuesday press conference. Had a lot to say. Not a whole lot said about this past weekend's game against the Cleveland Browns. Probably best to, at least for us fans, to flush away that performance. Not sure how you feel about the head coach not saying too much about it. Also, Tomlin didn't really even say all that much about the upcoming game against the Ravens as well. The most important thing from Tomlin today and his presser, an update on a bunch of injured players, most of whom Tomlin said he is optimistic for playing on Sunday night, against the Baltimore Ravens. So here in a moment, we will get into Mike Tomlin's Tuesday press conference, what all he had to say. After that, we will talk a little bit about the Pittsburgh Pirates, the posting period. It took me a while there to remember that. The posting period, the deadline for Japanese third baseman and first baseman Kazuma Okamoto coming up here in the coming days. The Pirates said to be finalists in the race to acquire Okamoto. We got some news. Okamoto is in the U.S., where he is meeting with teams, though. That makes it a little bit of an uneasy feeling that he is not going to be joining the Pirates. But we'll talk about all that and anything else that comes across our attention here this evening. Before we officially get things going here on this Tuesday night, if you are new here, welcome to the live stream. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you never miss a thing again here on the channel. Also, if you want, go leave a like on this live stream, share it so we can continue building up the viewership here on the channel. And in the comment section, any thoughts, questions, or opinions that you may have, please get those in there. Also, go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And come back a little bit later tonight on the channel for a new edition of SCSR 60. With that, ladies and gentlemen, like I just said a moment ago, we are going to start off with Mike Tomlin's Tuesday press conference. But before we do that, let's go to the comment section. Concepts. Welcome back, Concepts. Super Bowl bound. Here we go. A little bit of change of heart over the past 24 hours from you, Concepts. Super Bowl bound. Certainly not the case, but I guess now we are starting to get over the feelings and all that we had from the Browns game, and we're trying to focus in on how this team in any way could defeat the Baltimore Ravens coming up on Sunday night. The NFL colluded against the Steelers and DK. I'm proud of my team for calling them out. Well done, Steelers. Calling out the DK Metcalf suspension. You'll have to fill me in on that. Was that said in Tomlin's press conference today? If so, I missed that. Would you rather play Lamar or Huntley on Sunday? I want Lamar to play, hoping he returns for this game. For the Steelers to legitimately have a chance to win and, prove that they aren't just going to be pretenders that go in there and get their asses clocked in the wild card round. I would like to see Lamar Jackson. Also, Snoop Huntley. You put Huntley out there, that means The Rock is getting put in the most dangerous person on that Ravens team right now. It's getting put in the hands of Derrick Henry over and over and over again. And he is the one guy that you need to shut down first and foremost if you are the Steelers in this game. Because Henry, still fresh in our mind. You go back nearly a calendar year, that wild card game in Baltimore, he running wild all over you, and don't want to have that happen again. If Huntley's in there, that's going to happen. If Lamar is in there, I think Lamar more of a, well, he's still mobile for, his skill set, but still I view right now he's banged up, he's injured a little bit, might be less of a threat than Huntley. And also I think John Harbaugh and the Ravens, they're going to want their quarterback to do the superhero work instead of Derrick Henry if Lamar is in there. So I probably would take Lamar a little bit. Also, I feel like beating Lamar would maybe give us a little bit of hope that they can late in the year compete against upper echelon quarterbacks, even though Lamar is banged up. I also hope everyone is doing well. Life outside of football is most important, except on Sundays, says Concepts. Love that for you right there. Magic joining on in. Welcome, Magic. Concepts also bringing in a couple of other comments and questions here. This one on the football game last night, the Monday night game between the Atlanta Falcons and LA Rams. Got Matthew Stafford or Drake May for MVP. It was Stafford. You're right. It was Stafford until that last night. I think it's going to go to Drake May, and he's going to get league MVP and maybe even lead his New England Patriots to the number 1 seed. Who knows at this point? Packers defense is awful without Wyatt, Parsons, etc. So last week may have been fool's gold for them. Not sure yet. Agreed. The Packers team that the Steelers faced a couple of month or so ago, that was not the same Packers team that Snoop Huntley and them beat in Green Bay. Talking about no Parsons or Wyatt. Jordan Love didn't play. Had a couple of other guys in that game get banged up. So the Ravens, they're no healthy team themselves, but they definitely did not face a 100% Packers team. And the Steelers, hopefully they're able to take advantage of the Ravens maybe feeling a little bit overconfident in themselves right now, maybe able to catch them off guard. Forgot we didn't have Darnell in the first Ravens game either due to concussion. Still a shame he's injured. Did we not have Darnell for that game? Yeah, I guess he did have a concussion. I'm just now remembering that. Thanks for bringing that back up, Concepts. Puka caught that ball. Zay caught just like going to the Puka Nakua catch. I only saw a few videos of it, so I'm going to stray away from any speculations or comments on that. 8 of you in here right now. Let's officially get the show on the road here tonight, talking about the biggest story out of the sports world in Pittsburgh today. Mike Tomlin holding his weekly press conference, the final press conference of the 2025 regular season for Tomlin. Gives his normal good afternoon. And as you see there, the first sentence out of Tomlin's mouth for his press conference today: good afternoon. Welcome to AFC North Championship Week. So Tomlin, I guess, just filing away the Browns game for the most part, all locked in on the Ravens. Seemed to be in quite a cheerful mood, I guess is what you would say. I mean, sure, fans are going to take that and react to it pretty positively. Tomlin did start talking about the Browns game a little bit. Didn't really bring up the Ravens too much in his press conference. Didn't want to mention anything that he is expecting from his opponent, keeping all of that stuff close to the vest. Tomlin did say that the loss against the Browns was disappointing, and it is not the first disappointing outing for this collective. No kidding. And it seems like having disappointing performances, that seems to be a reoccurring thing once you get to that mistake on the lake there in Cleveland, Ohio. I don't know why, but apparently collectively disappointing outings seem to be a reoccurring theme there. I don't know how they fix it. Tomlin did mention a couple of key plays in the game could have been tide turners, but the Steelers were not able to capitalize on them. Mentioned the Nick Herbig near interception just before halftime. That would have been a pick six by name. He said not having those was the difference in that game. As for the offensive performance, Tomlin said that the offense, they need to look at that performance and how they struggled against the Browns with sober eyes. So not, being too still in an emotional mindset or dwelling on that too much. Just look at it, see what you can improve on and move forward type of deal there from Tomlin. Overall, Tomlin on the Browns loss said that we, the collective, coaches, players, have to own the responsibility of performing They didn't make enough plays, and they didn't put guys in good enough positions to make plays. I think play calling was certainly an issue against the Browns, so I'm at least happy that he didn't just, brush that aside and not talk about that at all. Play calling needs to be better. I think Aaron Rodgers checked out of a few too many things, which I know you want to give your 42-year-old, very experienced quarterback full autonomy over the offense, but kind of looked like Rodgers was doing a little bit too much. Hopefully he's able to wrangle that back in for this upcoming week's game. After that, the most important part of Tomlin's press conference took place. Getting into the injury report, did Tomlin mention one guy already labeled out for the Ravens game. Of course, that is Darnell Washington, broken arm, had surgery this morning, according to Tomlin, so he is unavailable for this Ravens game, and according to a few reports from the Ian Rappaports of the world, he will not be available for the postseason as well. I mean, people were saying, is this broken arm thing? Is it something like Aaron Rodgers that he's able to fight through? Or is he going to be out long term? It's going to be out long term. So that is very, very unfortunate. Let's just hope that, like how we talked about a little bit yesterday, the Steelers are able to now pivot to something new in their offense that they can unlock without Darnell Washington. I think it's safe to say the W80 has been a big component in just about everything the offense does, from, being a big target over the middle to the running game to the Spartan tush push stuff that they do. So hopefully now that they know Washington is not going to be available, let's, still run our same stuff here. Let's just figure out new ways to do it. Cannot have one guy completely take out multiple pieces of your offensive game plan. Other than Washington, overall, good news on the injury front, at least for as much good news as you can get on a Tuesday, still 4 or 5 days away from kickoff. Tomlin, most importantly, on the status of TJ Watt, said that Watt, quote, optimistic about his potential inclusion in this game, will work him up over the course of the week and let the amount of participation and quality of participation be our guide. I'm more optimistic than I've been in previous weeks. That's pretty good to hear from Tomlin, seeing how he hasn't really, mentioned any sort of status or practice schedule for Watt in his press conferences the previous 2 weeks. Since the end of Sunday's game, we've had conflicting reports. Tom Pelissero saying Watt will play. You had Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk saying there's no way Watt plays. Tomlin at least giving us a glimmer of hope that number 90, at the very least, will be active. We don't need Watt to go out there and, play 40, 50 snaps like he's TJ Watt of old, because this is not a common thing he is coming back from. But if Watt can just be active, and if he could give you 15 to 20 snaps in the game where you get TJ Watt a chance to make a big play, that he is capable and he only is capable of, something that Highsmith and Herbig and Sawyer can't do. If you're able to get that one play, 2 plays from Watt, I think it'll be worth him being active. So Tomlin obviously aware that this is a medical circumstance rather than an injury. So he wants to make sure that Watt ticks off all the boxes before he gets back out onto the field. But being optimistic and seeing how practice will go this week at least gives us a tiny bit of hope that number 90 will be back out there. Other than Watt, other guys optimistic. And these guys just as important, if not a little bit more important than Watt, because the Steelers do have a ton of depth at outside linebacker. Calvin Austin III with a hamstring. Optimistic, according to Tomlin. Getting CA3 back. Am I going to act like Calvin Austin is the savior for this wide receiver group after that horrendous performance they had against the Browns? No. I think we've all seen what Calvin Austin looks like in a WR1 setting when George Pickens went down with injury at the end of last season. But could Austin be 10 times better than a Scotty Miller on some plays and MVS and Adam Thielen? Absolutely. I think Austin, you're safe to say, is the best route runner on the team. Getting him back out there would be huge. Brandon Eccles, James Pierre, 2 corners for your Steelers. Those guys also optimistic. Eccles returning from a groin, Pierre from a calf. Haven't heard from Pierre in about 3 weeks. Eccles, 2. Getting those guys back, getting, a breather off, I guess, for your corner group, and also getting Jalen Ramsey back to safety. That would be huge, even if you just get one, in my opinion. I will settle for one of Eccles or Pierre getting back out there on Sunday, because then that means you can get one of those 2 guys in the slot. You can move at nickel. You can move Ramsey back to safety. That takes Chuck Clark off the field, and your secondary, increases and gets better tenfold, in my opinion. So getting back one of those guys will be huge. Isaac Seumalo with his tricep also getting back out there. Seumalo, I think now that Darnell Washington is down, getting him back for the offensive line, having him be optimistic, that's going to be pretty big, because now you can get a ton more of your 6 offensive linemen look and get some help in the running game with Spencer Anderson. Anderson doesn't need to be, held to just being the left guard for most of the game, but you get Seumalo back in there, then maybe on the tush push. Not sure if Anderson's out there where he lines up on that play, but if you go to tush push instead of having Washington in the backfield pushing Connor Hayward, you get Anderson to do it. And I think that would be a nice little switch out there. So those guys optimistic. I think the only other guy that Tomlin mentioned in his injury report today, Malik Harrison, middle linebacker for the Steelers, suffered a bone bruise against the Browns. I think that's going to be something that he'll be able to manage heading into the Ravens game. Might be limited early on in the week, but we'll see how he progresses. So good news all in all on the injury report, aside from Washington being out. After that, got into a few questions. Did Tomlin, he was asked if the Ravens go to a one-on-one opportunity in man-to-man coverage, what will the Steelers do? Tomlin simply just putting out there, pass catchers need to go out there and make those plays. I think Calvin Austin, he's been getting more go balls in the past few weeks, especially during that 3-game winning streak. You get him out there, all of a sudden you go from Austin to Scotty Miller on go balls. I will take that exchange. Tomlin also bringing up for the 2nd week in a row, because there will be no DK Metcalf again, Roman Wilson. If you were to tell me Roman Wilson did not play a single snap whatsoever against the Browns, I would have believed you. Tomlin said Wilson did not play as much on Sunday because the team did not win on possession downs, meaning they had less snaps offensively. Anybody smell that? Smells like a whole bunch of BS there to me. I don't know about you. You're telling me Roman Wilson could not, at any point in that game, played more than 9 snaps and have gotten in there for a couple of plays over MVS, who wasn't doing a damn thing, or Adam Thielen, who, couldn't haul in a ball at all. Just, man, if Roman Wilson wasn't going to get on the field against the Browns, I don't care how many offensive snaps you played, if he wasn't going to get on the field in that game with your top 2 pass catchers in Metcalf and Austin at wide receiver out, then I don't know when he's going to get in. So, yeah, I'll believe Mike that Roman Wilson's going to see more snaps when I believe it and actually notice him out there for it. The last 2 things, big things that I got from Tomlin's press conference today, was asked about not dwelling on the frustration of not clinching the AFC North over the weekend. Tomlin said, just quote, "My windshield is bigger than my rear view." So again, that goes back to the thing. We're not even going to discuss the Browns game. We're just going to, light it on fire, burn it, watch the embers float away. Tomlin also liked this quote here. Hopefully everyone has this mindset, because that might be their only source of motivation heading into this weekend's game after that Browns game. Tomlin said he is trying to make sure that this is not the last game in the NFL for Aaron Rodgers. Added that it's been awesome to work with Rodgers this year, but does not want Rodgers' career and the season to end with the division officially slipping away from the Steelers' fingers this weekend. So hopefully the team embodies and reacts in a positive manner to that type of motivation, because I think for a good bit of this year, Rodgers at times has carried the team. Now Rodgers coming off of his worst game of the season, playing scared. Time for the team to step up around him and pick him up a little bit and see if they can get this done against the Ravens, but we shall see. Do not think that I have seen any sort of other injury report or anything going on for the Steelers today. Usually those come out starting on Wednesday tomorrow. So we will talk about that when that comes about. 10 of you in here right now. Let's go to the comment section, get your reactions on this first story of the day. Tomlin's press conference, reacting to him saying that TJ Watt and others are optimistic to play. Concepts in the comments section. Kyle Duggar and Nick Herbig, they had easy plays that would have changed the outcome in a vacuum, of course. Those were game changers big time. Agreed. I think the Duggar probably the more important of the two, because I mean, yeah, sure, Herbig's would have put up points on the board, but also Duggar's, that was a touchdown preventing play that he could have made. And I don't know, looking at it more, I guess my best thing without him just completely being oblivious to the rainbow floating down from the heavens, he got caught in between either playing the ball or playing the man. I guess he sort of did neither, but I don't know what Duggar was doing. Definitely needs to make a big play in this upcoming game. I'll tell you that much. Concepts here. Muth, 9 catches, 168 yards this week. Where are you getting that from there, Concepts? No offense, Concepts. I love you, but whatever sort of drink or substance that you consumed to get that bold prediction, that might be one of the most, how we do bold predictions before every Steeler game. That might be the boldest one of them all. If they were smart, they would have at least Muth get 9 targets. Metcalf again. Muth, you only threw the ball to him, 3, maybe 4 times in that Browns game, and it seems like everything that was thrown his way in that game, he was making a play. So wouldn't be the worst idea to, hey, 88, you're getting the ball. No big Darnell Washington. You need someone to work over the middle of the field. Muth definitely has the capability of doing that. So, yeah, please feed 88 the ball. Get him something, dialed up. I don't care. Just for 1 week, please, Arthur Smith, dial up something for your highest paid. I think, right, Muth will be the highest paid guy out there on the field from a pass catcher standpoint. Jonnu Smith's making 10. I think Muth is a little bit over that. So, yeah, how about we dial up something, Artie, that's not to your teacher's pet, Jonnu Smith, Rodgers? How about we throw it to 88 and we don't go back to your old Green Bay buddy MVS trying to relive the glory days? Yeah, let's get the ball to number 88. I think that'd be a solid game plan. And if it doesn't work the first couple of times, don't be shy to keep going back to that well until it gets going, because Muth, chance to be the big game changer in this game, down Metcalf and down Washington. Do we put Sawyer on Henry this game? I'm picturing his tackles for loss on Gibbs and Montgomery. That is optimistic thinking. Definitely did have a good game tackling Gibbs and Montgomery. I don't know what you just going to have Sawyer spy Henry. That'd be I guess, one way to try to neutralize Henry, though. That is still a big task for Sawyer. I love how he was able to get his, bearings and get ready to go for that Lions game in his first NFL start. But asking him to tackle probably one of, if not the greatest running back roaming the planet right now, that'd still be an awful lot to ask of him. CA3 better than GP at the end of last year. Ben Skoranek is way better. He was the last 5 to 6 games of the year. I'm not going to look back at CA3 and GP. I'm just saying, from, not a statistic standpoint or anything like that. When CA3 had a chance to make WR1 plays. He went on that milk carton. And am I going to predict him to all of a sudden figure it out and ball out? No, but can he just do a little bit more than MVS or Valdez-Scantling, which is a low bar to clear? I would love that. Also, I think right now, call me crazy, I think Ben Skoranek having that hand injury and not being able to catch anything right now, I think that really, really is hurting the Steelers, because Skoranek seemed like another one of those guys that Rodgers would unexpectedly go to in a big spot and make the completion. So I miss Skoranek and the plays that he can make, the one, maybe two plays that he makes a game. That could have, who knows, maybe have been the difference maker. Instead of throwing a go ball to Scotty Miller, which the pass was terrible, but let's just say the pass was good. Instead of throwing a go ball to Scotty Miller, you got a much taller Ben Skoranek who's able to fight for it. Concepts here. Imagine on fourth down, after 3 straight shots to MVS, they put Roman out wide, same fade route, he catches it. We go from 2 complete to Roman. Then I woke up. Yeah, that is a crazy dream right there. Does Roman run the correct routes, though? That's my question. I mean, forget the fourth down fade. Does Roman run the right route that MVS didn't run on the 2nd and 3rd and goal? The second second and goal that almost got picked off by Denzel Ward. I think Roman Wilson might run it in there, and that's a touchdown. And all of a sudden, people hoisting up statues of Roman Wilson around Pittsburgh. Freight Train in here. Welcome, Freight Train. Have zero hope going into this game, assuming we lose by 20. You'd be on par. You'd be about in the same range, in the same ballpark as all other Steeler fans right now. I'm not going to lie there, Freight Train. We need that feed booth all day. Speak it into existence. We're going to do prayer circles. Hold hands together, everyone. Pat Fryermuth gets the ball. If we're passing it, every other one's going to number 88. You paid him the big money. Please, football gods, Pat Fryermuth. We'll pray. We'll pray over the next couple days. 8 of you in here right now. Now 9 of you in here. Welcome to the live stream. Gonna switch up things real quick. Like I said, it's gonna be a bit of a shorter live stream tonight. We've been going nearly an hour and a half on average for live streams for the past few weeks. That's what you get when you get into the nitty gritty of football season. But today, gonna try to keep things relatively short. Gonna switch over just for probably no more than 5 minutes to Pittsburgh Pirates baseball. The Bucs, hell of an offseason that they are having at this point. Brought in Saul Lefty, I believe, for the bullpen, and Gregory Soto. They went out, traded not all that much to get back 3 big league pieces, including one of the best second basemen in baseball, Brandon Lau. And then most recently, last week, I think a couple of days before Christmas, they brought in Ryan O'Hearn, first baseman, designated hitter, on their first multi-year free agent contract given out since Ivan Nova in 2016. Pirates think their clear goal of the offseason, at least set by fans, go out, get 2 to 3 big league bats. They got 2, but we want to be greedy here. They got to go out and they get 3. The third right now, ladies and gentlemen, that all eyes are on Kazuma Okamoto, third baseman, first baseman, coming over from Japan. His posting window closes on January 4th at, I believe, 4 p.m. Okamoto now in the United States. We reported that yesterday to meet with teams. Bit of an update on him here today, and this one maybe not the best for the Pittsburgh Pirates, who apparently all their focus is on Okamoto right now. This, according to Mark Feinsand, does reporting and writing for MLB Network, said that Okamoto will be holding meetings with interested teams in Los Angeles this week before his deadline. So he will not be traveling all around the United States. He will stay in one place, that being LA, relatively close to Japan. This kind of, from an outside point of view, spells trouble for the Pirates. You would think, oh no, he's going to LA. Only, the other 2 finalists, reported finalists for Okamoto, other than the Pirates, are the LA Angels and San Diego Padres, so he's really close to them. What makes this even worse, the Angels today, they did a restructuring of third baseman Anthony Rendon's contract. Rendon hasn't really played baseball that much over the past couple of years because of injuries. Got paid a mega deal to join the Angels, and his career has fallen off a cliff since then. The Angels, with that, will defer over $38 million over the next 3 to 5 years in order to buy out Rendon's contract. So all of a sudden, the Angels just got a whole lot more money to spend on Okamoto, and it also, I think, takes off the table the one, I guess, advantage that the Pirates had over some of these other teams bidding for Okamoto's services. The Pirates, Jared Triolo, I guess, is the only guy between Okamoto and the starting third base job, and it wouldn't take Okamoto all that much to move Jared Triolo somewhere else or overtake him completely. Now the Angels, I mean, they have another free agent of theirs, Yohan Moncada, who's been linked to the Pirates. They let him go. So now they have their third base position open as well. Doesn't bode well for the Bucs. So just an update on the Okamoto situation. The Angels made a move today, makes them gives them a little bit of extra money to throw Okamoto's way. Hopefully the Bucs, they are at the new terminal at the Pittsburgh airport flying their way out to LA as we speak to try to land Okamoto here. But if not, Angels look like they're going to be the top team. This isn't out of the ordinary, though. Okamoto and his agent, Scott Boras, just staying in one spot, having the teams come to them rather than they go to the teams. Think another Japanese pitcher, Tatsui Imai. He's doing a similar thing. He's been rumored to a bunch of East Coast teams. So maybe there's an outside shot that the Bucs land Okamoto. There was even a Japanese newspaper today that had Okamoto in a pirate hat on the front cover, along with Angels and Padres as well. So holding on to a little bit of declining hope here that Okamoto is going to find his way to Pittsburgh. Let's just hope that they are able to get out to LA and throw a hell of a pitch this way to convince him to come to Pittsburgh before it is too late and before one of these West Coast teams swoop in and scoop him up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, going to go into the extra Pittsburgh sports news, just a tiny bit of it. Good bit of it on the Pittsburgh Penguins, who, not sure if you've been paying to the ticker behind me, they're going to be in action here in about an hour. There's also a little bit of Pittsburgh Steelers extra news to talk about today. One piece, not so, not so good. Some dearly beloved Steelers not advancing in the process of possibly the second greatest honor in football besides winning the Super Bowl. Magic in here. Do we play the last night of the season on Sunday? The NFL is so rigged. Yeah, of course it had to be a primetime game for the Steelers, right? Steelers have only been terrible, aside from that Monday night game against the Dolphins. Steelers have only been absolute ass on primetime games this season. But I think consolation to that, the Ravens, I don't think they've been too hot on primetime TV this year either. Didn't they play the Bills in that crazy game to open up the season on Sunday night? And then there was another game that they also lost on another Sunday night. So, yeah, two teams that have not been the best when the lights are brightest at night meeting up, and still going to go favor of the Ravens being able to figure that out over the Steelers. Magic, check out the article about the Steelers calling out the NFL for collusion on the DK suspension. It's interesting. Makes a lot of sense with how bad that last game was officiated. I'll have to, maybe take a peek at that myself. My whole thought on this Metcalf situation, I think even Cam Hayward said something similar last week leading into the Browns game. The suspension's one thing. Metcalf not being in the building is another. I absolutely hate that players who are suspended aren't allowed to still be in there, get, treatment, stay fresh, practicing, all that. So I don't like that. Also, for sure, thought that the NFL, I think they got what they wanted. I mean, how could it not be what they want? The final game of the regular season being for the AFC North. But one thing I thought for sure they would do was limit it to a 1-game suspension, because they didn't want to have any sort of involvement in the outcome of that game. Now that Metcalf's suspended for that, I think fans, regardless of how the outcome goes, are going to be going at the NFL saying, hey, you either screwed us or you tried to screw us without Metcalf. So definitely think that's going to be a narrative that the fan base will hold on to. 6 of you in here now. Let's go back here real quick to the old Twitter timeline before we carry on here this evening. See if there's any new pieces of info or any new news stories before we go into the extra Pittsburgh sports news segment. Seeing a meme go out everywhere. The Steelers signing wide receiver DQ Betcavs to the practice squad. If that's the case, if that's real, elevate them. See here, anything else? Also getting a ton of college declarations for the draft today. Looking local here, my Pitt Panthers, I believe. Malachi Thomas, I believe. I'm reading something from him right here. Oh no, he's just entering the transfer portal. My bad. Poppy Williams, wide receiver for Pitt, declaring for the draft. Katron Allen, running back for the Penn State Nittany Lions, declaring for the draft as well. Looking and seeing if there's anything else here. There's some stuff going on with Ketel Marte, second baseman, probably the best second baseman in baseball, out with the Arizona Diamondbacks. We'll have to check in on that later. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. Wrapping up the show here with a little bit of extra Pittsburgh sports news. Moving over to hockey, just real quick. Probably going to see it pop up on the ticker to my left here in a moment. Pittsburgh Penguins in action here. Puck drop will be going down within the next hour against the, I think, Metropolitan Division leading Carolina Hurricanes. So the Pens, they have the deck stacked against them tonight. Good news for the Pens in response to reports yesterday of Erik Karlsson being sick and a couple of players leaving practice early. Erik Karlsson and Connor Dewar will be available tonight. I think Dewar was the one who left practice early yesterday. There were reports out there that it was Ricard Raquel, but might have been Dewar. So Karlsson, Dewar, Raquel, those guys going to be in the lineup here tonight. Not in the lineup for the Pens, however, Yegor Chinikov, acquired from the Columbus Blue Jackets yesterday for Danton Heinen and a second and third round pick. Chinikov not going to play tonight. Walked in actually as the morning skate was going on. He arrived at the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex this morning during the team skate with his Columbus Blue Jackets gear and sticks. Chinikov not just going to be thrown in there into the fire against the division leading team right off the bat. So I actually like that decision. Let him get his bearings a little bit. Dan Muse, Penguins head coach, on Chinikov, quote, he's a guy that we think there's a lot there from a skill set standpoint and just the pace that he plays at. So excited to have him here. Well, you better be excited about his skill set and his, hopes and trajectories, because, giving up a second round and third round pick, even though you have a surplus of those things, giving up those assets for him, who does have a ton of skill, you best hope that he turns out to be everything you are hoping and dreaming of. Some other stuff from Muse today. The Penguins officially placing Ryan Graves, defenseman, on waivers. He'll probably go unclaimed because I don't think anybody's going to want to touch that contract with a 10-foot pole. Also, prayers tonight for the Penguins. Stuart Skinner on the hill, who has not had a good start to his Penguins career. So Skinner going against the division-leading team. That their lineup, I saw, by the way, jeez. Talking about Andrei Svechnikov, Sebastian Aho, tons of young guys, lots of skilled playmakers. Yeah, not an offense that I want to be facing tonight with Stuart Skinner in net if I'm the Penguins. Wrapping up here with just a few extra Pittsburgh Steelers notes. The bad news that we woke up to this morning. Hines Ward, in all the minds of Pittsburgh Penguins, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, think is a Hall of Famer. Another year goes by where he gets absolutely skunked from the Hall of Fame. Ward not advancing as a finalist for the Hall of Fame class of 2026. This is the 10th year in a row that Ward reached the semifinal stage, but did not reach the finalist stage. Guys like Larry Fitzgerald, which, Fitzgerald's going to get in there first ballot easily, but I think, what was it? Torrey Holt and someone else, I forget, made it in over him. So now Ward, last Steeler, I believe, that was standing for the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2026 in the modern era player category, he goes down. The list was to be cut to 15 finalists, among the 26 semifinalists. Ward did not make it. List now down to 15. The wide receivers, Reggie Wayne was the other one. Forgot about him. So Reggie Wayne, Torrey Holt, Larry Fitzgerald reaching the finalist stage. Hines Ward skunked again. Not sure if the legendary or past category is still going on. I think maybe LC Greenwood is still in the senior category up for that as well. So we will see if he makes it. Also, Art Rooney Jr. and Buddy Parker, they're also there as well. So we will see if they advance. At least, let's see if we can get one Steeler in there this year. We'd love to have that. The last few things here for the Steelers on the day. This one, just hypothetically speaking, let's say the Steelers do beat the Ravens on Sunday. The LA Chargers, they will not be playing Justin Herbert on Sunday against the Denver Broncos. So the Chargers, they are resting their quarterback. That most likely means that the Chargers are going to take an L, and that will leave the Steelers with either Houston or Buffalo, if I had to guess. So looking maybe potential playoff winners or playoff opponents of the Steelers. None of those matchups sound too favorable. And the last thing here, this just hypothetical as well. Steelers obviously getting closer to getting Brandon Eccles and James Pierre back from injury. Thank God for that. But let's just say that they don't. Should the Steelers maybe today, tomorrow, give a call to Trevon Diggs, Cowboys corner, getting released today, still 27 years old. It's a first-team All-Pro, two-time Pro Bowler. Could be a good fit in the Steelers' defense as, not the number one guy. I think Porter's taken that mantle. Could he be something? Interested to hear your guys' thoughts. Let me know. Back here to the comment section before we wrap up here tonight. Don't forget the great Mike Webster getting a false start. Did not forget about that from Sunday's game against the Browns. Kenny G, 3-touchdown game incoming. They then being announced as team MVP. Kenny G should be team MVP, honestly. 3-touchdown game. Would love to have that probably be your only way. The only way to fight fire is with fire. So you're going up against Derrick Henry who's probably going to find the end zone a couple of times in this game, getting Kenny G the ball a ton, and Jalen Moore, and having the running backs do most of the heavy lifting. I think that would be humongous as well. Concepts, Hines is and was an amazing player. Steelers fans know how great he is, and that's all that matters. Still unfortunate. Yeah, I still wholeheartedly believe the way Hines Ward played the game, he was well ahead of his time. If you were to put Hines Ward into the NFL game today, or even the game from 10 years ago or so, if you were to start Ward's career in the 2010s and let him take off from there, I think he would have been much more appreciated in how he played that physical brand of football. All right, ladies and gentlemen, told you we were going to keep things short here tonight. I think that's going to wrap up things right there. For the final time, on your way out, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications so that you never miss a thing here on the channel. Again, like this live stream, share this live stream, leave a comment in the comment section. Go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And tune back in a little bit later tonight for SCSR 60. Like I said at the top of the show, this is the final live stream, barring some massive breaking news between now and midnight tomorrow for 2025. So we will see you guys maybe back here on Thursday. I'll leave that up in the air as well. But definitely on Friday, we will be back here to give our final thoughts, final injury report, and discuss all that before the Steelers and Ravens play on Sunday night. So no scheduled live stream tomorrow. The SCSR 60s every night for the rest of the week probably will continue on, but no live stream tomorrow for sure. We'll leave Thursday TBD, but definitely for sure back here on Friday to wrap up the week of news. So on your way out, like I said, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, like, share, comment, and I will see you guys back here when I see you. Let's go Pens tonight. Puck drop coming up here in about 45 minutes. Have a good rest of your Tuesday night, ladies and gentlemen. See you next time. Peace.